Welcome into the 33rd and final episode of Breaker Banter, live from the Hard Rock Cafe in Biloxi. My name's Devin Dobek. I'll be joined momentarily by number 33, Garrett Johnson. Can't think of a more fitting guy to join me on the set for the last part of the show, and we're going to have a twist. There's going to be a lot more back and forth than typical, so stay tuned. Very excited to bring Johnny on. He's actually currently serving a 2-game suspension, as we tried to have that whole brawl at the beginning of the last game. Didn't go out so well, and Johnny's paying the price for it. So he'll be out through this final home weekend and back for the Baton Rouge series on April 9th, 10th, and 11th. Our final home weekend coming up, April 3rd and 4th. Both puck drops are at 7 o'clock. It'll be a specialty military appreciation jersey on Friday. So they're camouflage. They got the Breaker B on them. They're really great. Those will be up for auction after the game on Friday with the Bobcats. And then on Saturday, we will have our home black jersey auction. So the home black uniforms that the boys have worn all year will go up for auction following the final home game on April 4th. So a really cool opportunity. Maybe it's a number of a player that's come and gone, but you can still have an opportunity to bid on it and make it your own. So very excited for those two opportunities. It will still be the north entrance as well. So when you come into park, you'll still have to enter that north entrance of the stadium. That's where the box office will call. Everything out that way will be. But Seawolves Retro Weekend was an absolute blast this past weekend. Breakers, or rather the Seawolves, coming away with a 7-4 victory on Friday night. Second most goals they've scored in a game this season. The Coliseum was rocking. There's no way around it. It was a fun environment to be a part of. We appreciate everybody who came out to see the win. Saturday night, still got a point, so a 4-point trip, which hasn't happened since 2025. Very encouraging. Headed down the stretch here, but awesome to see them compete up until the very end, and ultimately a 3-2 overtime loss. Breakers are 2-2 in overtime this season. Lucas Pikarczyk has those 2 game winners. But very excited for the final 5 home games here. 2 more at home, April 3rd and 4th. Jersey auctions both nights. That's what you need to know. We'll also have some prize packs going out. So the first 1,000 fans at the Saturday game, our last home game on April 4th, there will be some prize packs that will remain a mystery. You'll get them on your way in through the entrance. We will also have our season ticket exchange going on up until April 4th at noon. So the last home game is April 4th. You can exchange any unused season tickets. So this is only for season ticket holders, but any unused season tickets from this season, you can go to the box office beginning at 1 o'clock on the day of or ending at noon on the day of the game, and any day, Monday through Friday this week. To get your exchange, you'll get a random terrace level seat. So come and exchange them in. You can bring some friends and family and try and give us a large crowd for our last game, hoping to send the boys off to Baton Rouge with a win. Final 2 home games, and then 3 more with Baton Rouge. That just about wraps up our intro. We're going to bring Garrett on for our interview momentarily.
Every new Hyundai from Matt Bowers comes with Matt's lifetime warranty included. That's in addition to Hyundai's America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Owner Assurance. You get both warranties, making a new Hyundai from Matt Bowers an excellent value. Come visit us today during the Getaway Sales event at our new showroom just off Lorraine Road north of I-10 in Gulfport.
Shop smart, buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Welcome to episode 33 of Breaking Banter. I am Garrett Johnson, and I was finally able to track down the infamous Devin Dobek to get on the show today. I have been hounding him all season long to do this. So, Devin, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, Garrett, thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming, but happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's been one great season so far. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of everything this year. It's been a roller coaster, but I think just seeing this last weekend for the boys and seeing the place full was a very rewarding feeling. Just to hear the fans tap into that nostalgia and have a good time, let loose, and enjoy the Seawolves once again.
I agree. It was a great weekend. It felt awesome. The fans were into it, so what more can you ask for, right?
Can't ask for much more than that. No, they were definitely into it, and some good hockey games. A couple really nice affairs, so hopefully we can get a little more of that in these final 5.
Absolutely. All right, Dev. So on today's twist, I'm going to be interviewing Devin today. So, Devin, tell me, how did you get into hockey? How did you start off in the hockey world?
So I started off playing when I was probably, around 5 years old, and probably played through to when I was 6 years old. And then my parents decided that they wanted to travel less, meaning like they didn't want, because I have a younger brother, Brady, so they didn't want to drive one kid to one spot and me to the other spot.
Absolutely.
They wanted to be more family oriented. So eventually we became a ski family. So we bought a house, or my parents bought a house up in Vermont, and we went up there just about every weekend that I can remember growing up, and we skied, and I taught skiing for 5 years, got licensed, so it was pretty good to me, but obviously I still loved the sport. It was something I always want to be a part of. I'm a big Bruins fan. UMass, that was pretty much all they had for sports, so it was pretty cool to have the opportunity to get back into it, and yeah, I love what I do.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So what made you get into broadcasting specifically?
So as cliche as it sounds, it's one of those things that I've just kind of been doing since I was young. Like me and my brother, or me and my cousins, we'd be playing wiffle ball or basketball or even hockey, just out, around the house, in the house, wherever we could make the biggest disturbances, my mom probably would say. But yeah, I just kind of loved making it feel more real and making it feel professional. And my way of doing that was finding the players I knew and basically swapping our names for theirs and doing play-by-play from a very young age. So I was probably like 7, 8 years old doing that. And then coming around to high school, I still kind of had that fervor for like the presentation of the game and everything that goes into it. Because I think as a broadcaster, my goal is to make the boys or whoever I'm broadcasting, their moments more exciting. Like that's my job. I want to make that something that they can remember, something that the fans remember, and something that resonates with them. Just so they have their moment, but I'm able to enhance it, and I love the ability to be able to do that.
And you do an amazing job at that. I mean, I think by far you are the best broadcaster I ever have. And I'm just not saying that because he's sitting right here. I'm being serious.
I appreciate that, Garrett.
So, when you were in high school, did you do any broadcasting or no?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So I played basketball my freshman year, but as I mentioned, we were skiing most winters. So I was a very casual basketball player. I was a pretty fast kid, but not a great basketball player. I was just kind of the dog out on the court. And so my sophomore year, I was cut from the team, which not necessarily their worst decision, I'll say that. And I kind of was, at this feeling of that had never really happened to me before. I'd been an athlete my whole life. I'd had the luxury of playing on good teams and trying out and making them. Really hadn't ever dealt with that failure or that defeat before. And so I was kind of looking for a way to fill up my winters, and I think I joined track to stay in shape. Never ran a race, but did it. And it just wasn't for me. And eventually, I realized we had a great local station, and there had been a senior that had just finished up, and I was like, why don't I try what I've been doing at home, on a scale where people can appreciate it. And so I started doing all kinds of sports, football, basketball, hockey, of course, in high school at the end of my sophomore year, and then my junior year is really when I started doing it. And I really enjoyed it, and I got a lot of good feedback from everybody that was tuning in, family, friends, and I realized that it was something that I wanted to pursue, and it was my passion, and the rest is history. Now we're going wheels up to try and chase it.
Now you're in the minors. You made it, right? That's what they say?
Yeah, I don't know if I've made it just yet. It's the minors is the minors. There's a lot of turbulence, and there's a lot going on. I'm hoping that, one day I can pay my dues and get to a place where I can just call games and put my full energy into research and preparation and really just putting everything into the broadcast as opposed to wearing 9 million hats. But at this level, I'm happy to do it because when the organization succeeds, you succeed.
Absolutely.
So that's, kind of the minors.
So the big question, in 5 years, where would you like to see yourself working, broadcasting-wise?
Hopefully for some national outlet. I'd love to be, the end goal is the Stanley Cup final. You want to be the guy that everybody's tuning into. There's been a lot of good people that have gone before. Of course, Doc Emmerich's one of my favorites, but I don't think I'll be there in 5 years. I think in this industry, it's a lot of trickle down.
Okay.
Like you're kind of waiting for people to move up or move on. And it's all about who you know as well. So you're networking, you're finding ways to mingle with people, to meet with people. And I'm hoping that one day I can just sort of meet the right person and be given an opportunity to show what I can do, because I do think I can do it. And it's just kind of going to be paying my dues in the meantime now. So I got probably to answer your question, in 5 years, I'm hoping I'll be somewhere in the ECHL or the AHL. But, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what opportunity I get and run with it.
Ideally, in 5 years, me and Dev will be in Worcester playing for the Railers. So that's the plan here for us.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be nice. I'd like the
hometown
ECHL.
heroes.
Yeah, why not? A couple Mass guys,
Yeah.
Westminster. I'm
Why
East
not?
Longmeadow, but
Why not, right?
John, well, let's get you involved here a little bit.
All right,
So tell
what
us
do you
a
got?
little bit about your hockey journey. Give us the spark notes from start
All right.
when you picked it up.
We'll do the Cliff Notes here, but I started off like any Massachusetts kid at the Learn to Hockey. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Hated player though, believe it or not. I was a player for 2 years, bawled my eyes out every time we had a game.
Really?
And I told my mom, I want to be the guy that stops the puck. I didn't know what it was called, just wanted to try it. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved it. And I moved that into doing a goalie clinic at Fitchburg State.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple guys that played against them. And the guy there, he was working with me every week, and I loved it. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this. Sorry, Mom, you got to spend the money. We need the gear, you know. So thankfully, she was like, let's do it. I'll support you, whatever you want to do. And it worked out that she was like, all right, let's bite the bullet and go.
Yeah, I know you had a little time in juniors, growing up in Westminster, of course.
Yeah.
And you've also had an experience that not a lot of people on this team or even in this league have had. And you were in the ECHL for a couple games dressing with the Allen Americans. So take us through that experience. You got a taste of the coast, and what was it like?
I mean, that was kind of like Christmas morning. I mean, I woke up on a normal Thursday morning, getting ready to go to practice, and I got a call, hey, how fast can you get to Missouri? And I was like, what? It's 17 hours from Watertown, you know? So I got in the car and drove, and that night, got there at like 2 a.m. I was at the front desk. I guess they didn't put my name in right. So I was trying to figure out which room I'm staying in, but everybody's asleep, so I had no key. Finally got it figured out, went to morning skate, and I mean, it was all time. It was everything you needed was right there. Everybody there was supporting each other. I mean, it was a good locker room at the time. I loved it. And showing up for the game, it was awesome. It was pretty electric walking out. There was about 8,000 people there.
Wow.
And they filled out that night, and I had a lot of fun. I did not want to go back home, but I did.
Yeah, no, once you get a taste, you never really want to go back.
Exactly.
And I know AJ Schlepp really enjoyed his time up with the Worcester Railers. We had a couple guys go up, Yaryev, Dokimov, a couple months ago. But it's a league that I think a lot of people underappreciate unless they're very involved with hockey. Like I thought the ECHL was kind of the lowest professional league until I got involved in this league.
Absolutely.
And there's so many tiers to everything, and it's great to see guys move up and succeed here in the Fed as a developmental league and trying to pursue their journey that way. There's so many different avenues that
many
you go
paths
in.
you can take, right? Many.
But as someone who's been through it, what is the driving force that keeps you wanting to pursue this hockey dream?
Ultimately, my family. My family would like to see me succeed, and I'd say just getting to do what I love every day. I do welding back home. I hate my job. Hate it. I love hanging out with the guys and getting to do what I worked on growing up, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, the guys make everything so much more enjoyable. It's no secret the record hasn't been exactly what we wanted when we sat down at training camp with the whole group. And let's talk about that for a second. You're one of two guys remaining from training camp all the way back at the beginning of the season. You and Trey Fisher.
Me and Trey Fisher, I am coming for the prize. Don't worry.
We're trying to see who the last man standing is going to be. It's like an episode of Squid Games or whatever. But
yeah.
So as someone who's just kind of seen it all, seen a lot of faces come and go, who are a few guys that you just miss having around and hanging out with that were just good guys?
Wow.
I know.
That's a great question, Dev.
I don't think they'll be offended if you leave anyone out, but
no.
If there are a few that come to mind immediately.
That is an incredible question. Well, definitely Pisey and Sharps. That was a tough one to see go. Probably Rosie. Yeah. Rosie was hilarious. He was a pain in my butt sometimes, but, you know, like any goalie partner, right? He was a funny guy. I'll give him that. I honestly, they're all blending in.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of movement, and it's tough to tell right off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's been so many great faces. I mean, we've got to meet them all. I was fortunate enough to call my 100th game the other night, which was pretty incredible.
And we got you the win. That was awesome.
The win was the icing on the cake for me. But
that
then,
was awesome.
you know, just looking around and seeing the people who have been here, the more seasoned people who've been here this season, just really appreciate, like, you know, how far we've come and how much we've been able to do.
Absolutely.
It was a special moment, and I think Mikey Roy also is a guy whose praises we don't sing enough. Let's talk Mikey for a sec.
Mikey.
I don't think we've discussed him too much on the podcast.
You could spend a few hours talking about that guy.
Yeah, we'll keep it within the YouTube guidelines.
Yeah,
but what can you tell us about Michael Roy, who's as the boys, everyone who's come and gone from here has sung his praises as the best equipment manager in this league?
By far,
what makes him so great?
He is. I would say Mikey is a gamer. When it comes to game time, he will gear down and he will do what needs to be done. I mean, normally he'll get to the rink 9, 10 o'clock on a game day, and he won't leave till 10, 11 at night. I mean, that guy does a lot. He's dedicated. He is a hard worker, and nobody else will sharpen my skates in the summertime. I will go the whole summer without sharpening my skates and wait until I see Mikey.
Yeah, I think that's been his shtick, is skate sharpening.
Yes,
has been what's
he is
really
one of the best I've ever had, and I can't go back now.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to have a bad day with. He's just so full of vibes and life, and I don't want to get too sentimental about Mikey because he wouldn't want it to be that way, but he's been great to live with, and he's done so much for the team. As you mentioned, the long hours at the rink, and everything's pristine. I mean, I walk in that locker room 3 hours before puck drop, and it's as nice as it could possibly be.
Exactly.
And Mikey does a great job of ensuring that it gets that way. So I think that he's a huge asset, and off the ice, he's a treat to be around,
he
too.
is.
Always good for a few laughs.
Great stories.
Plenty of stories. So many stories. He's found his way into just about every event possible, and he's got a story about how he met this guy, or he was...
What concert he snuck into.
Yeah. Or,
yeah.
Interactions meeting these artists. I remember I was at Rascal Flatts a few weeks ago, and Gary, the lead singer of the band, walks off the stage, and who's the first person he's hugging? It's Mikey Roy, who doesn't have a ticket and is in the front row with a cowboy hat, and he gets the first high five. Go figure, but it's just amazing. This guy is just a man of many wonders, and it's been a joy to get to know him, and you can see the experience that he has from the NHL speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
And what he does day to day.
Absolutely. I mean, he knows when it is time to turn on promo. He does.
Okay, so we'll shift gears here. What have been, let's go with in no particular order, but a top 3 moments from this Breakers season. Let's go on the ice first, then we'll go off the ice.
On the ice. Wow.
I think that, I'll kick it off just while you're thinking here, but I think that...
Probably our first win.
Yeah,
right?
The first win against Topeka was awesome.
That one was awesome.
Pies in overtime twice. Both of those
2
were
times.
just incredible.
Overtime specialist.
The line brawl in Baton Rouge in December was a lot of fun.
That was a good one.
We had a good time with that.
That was a good one.
Almost had one last weekend, but unfortunately...
Yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, you were robbed of that. But
that's all right. We'll try again next time.
It's been a lot of good experiences. We've had the pleasure of going paintballing with the fans. So many have come out here week in and week out, and we really appreciate
the
all you guys.
Paintballing at the beginning of the season, that one was personal. That was great. That was a great team bonding event. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, the boys have had a lot of team bonding experiences, being on the road together, and I think it's been awesome. This group is really tight-knit.
Yeah.
And I think a big thing too is not to make excuses for anything, but it's a tough division. And you got teams who are experienced, who've played together, and at the end of the day, our boys do everything they can to compete. But it's tough. You're playing a lot of ECHL Division I talent.
Absolutely.
And there's been guys who have come through here with that kind of talent. We've seen flashes, and I'd really have liked to seen what the roster would have shaken out to be if you had all these guys in one spot at the same time. Cade Henry, Yarrow, Heitzner, Blacksmith, Koch. There's been so many threats on the offensive end that we've had, but they've just been in here at different times. Declan Conway. You could go on and on with guys who produce. Pikarczyk. But I think it would have been awesome to see this group without all the turnover, there was a
Exactly.
bunch of different call-ups or SPHL additions, and I think that if they'd had the season to just grow and develop together without all the turnover, that this team down the stretch could have been in the hunt for that final playoff spot.
We absolutely could have. But I mean, you know what? For player development, that's great for them. You know, I hope it all works out, right? Because we all want to move up, right? That's
Exactly.
the end game.
Exactly.
We can't be selfish and want to win a cup. But would it be nice? It'd be awesome, right?
Yeah, and the Coliseum's been a fun place to be
Coliseum, yeah.
all year long.
That's
That
been a
place
great
is
time.
massive.
It's a cool ring.
Yeah, we enjoyed playing there. It's
Yeah.
got a lot of character. Apparently it's haunted. I didn't run into any ghosts, knock on wood, but
I haven't
apparently
seen
it's
any.
haunted.
That's what I heard.
It's on an episode of Ghostbusters, so I'm not sure. Fortunately, haven't had to deal with that, but the MCC staff, at least from a technical standpoint for me, has been the utmost helpful. Just everybody who we've had the pleasure of having in and out of here this season has really stepped up. All the boosters, all the people who've come and helped with groceries and day-to-day things, just making sure the boys are in the best place they can be to play.
Absolutely.
So a lot of thank yous are in order, and as we go through these final couple weeks, I think they'll start to reveal themselves. But 5 games left, John.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you now, what
Let's
are the
hear
boys
it.
going to have to do to pull off a couple big victories?
If we play like we did Friday, if we stay composed, have everything together, I think the boys will do it. I mean, Friday, it felt electric. The guys came into the locker room, guys were picking each other up. It was a great time. It was a fun night to play hockey. The introduction alone juiced me up, and I wasn't even starting, so.
Yeah, the Louis Dumont in the house, and then
Yeah.
along with the Seawolves video, it was
Roger
awesome.
Maxwell, that was a treat right there, right?
Yeah, no, we had so
that was
many
awesome.
awesome opportunities on that Seawolves weekend, and people that came out and helped or reached out even. It was a fun weekend to be a part of.
Yeah.
So
I
I
had a
feel
lot of
very
fun.
lucky
I
to
had
have
a lot of fun.
called those games, and even more special that it was the 100th for me. So an absolute blast. But Johnny, we're wrapping up our interview here. We're approaching that time where I'm starting to bleed over into intermission cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
But tell us, what's been the thing you've enjoyed most about this season?
Definitely, I've had a lot of fun with the guys, really have. We always have ice, for the most part, most of the season. I'd say just being with the guys, location, a little bit of a snowbird now,
Yeah.
spoiled for sure. But just the team itself, we've had some great guys come through, and we've had some great hockey players, and getting to travel around with the guys and really know one another has been a real treat for me, so.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and I always like to leave it with you, even though you were interviewing me for most of this time, but a message to the fans as well as anyone who may be tuning in that you'd like to say hi to.
Probably my mother. I don't know if she'll watch it, but maybe she does. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for coming out this season, and I'd like to thank the Booster Club and everybody that has helped us along the way. You guys really made this easy for us and have done absolutely wonders. So thank you, everybody, for showing up and supporting us. And that's all from me today.
Yeah, we'll wrap this thing up. I'll be back for the conclusion momentarily, but Garrett, I really appreciate you having me on the show here today. And
Devin, I'm glad you finally came, and it was a pleasure.
looking forward to the return from suspension for you.
Absolutely. It should be a good one.
All right, I'll be right back in a moment to wrap up the final episode of Breaker Banter. Looking for non-stop fun? Sky Zone Biloxi at the Edgewater Mall is the place to be. Jump off wall-to-wall trampolines, dunk on the basketball court, or conquer the warrior course. Sky Zone Biloxi truly has something for everyone. And now, you can celebrate big with our newly upgraded birthday party packages to make their special day unforgettable. Get ready to jump, play, and soar higher than ever at Sky Zone Biloxi. Huge thank you to Garrett Johnson for interviewing me on the final episode of Breaker Banter here. Johnny's been someone who's been awesome to be a part of the team from day one. Just going through training camp, always brings a great attitude to the rink, always tries his absolute best, and one of the favorite guys to have in the room. So we really appreciate him coming out on the show here tonight. Final home weekend, April 3rd and 4th. April 3rd, we'll have our military appreciation jersey auction post-game. Then April 4th, our home black jersey auction post-game. Season ticket exchange. That is active now until April 4th at noon. So now until April 4th at noon, you can go exchange any unused season tickets for a non-specific terrace level seat at the April 4th game. So bring your friends, bring your family. Really cool opportunity. 7 o'clock both puck drops for that weekend. And then the final 3 games, April 9th, 10th, and 11th against the Baton Rouge Zydeco at the Raising Cane's River Center. We hope you can all come out and join us for those games. Final 3 of the season for the Breakers, and it would be nice to have a bit of a home ice. I know there were some Zydeco fans in our arena stirring some trouble, so hopefully in a respectful way we can bring that sportsmanship back to them and hopefully create some good banter in the stands. But very excited to see what these final 5 games will bring us. I really appreciate everybody who's tuned into these episodes, who's listened to these episodes, who's provided comments, feedback, all the guests that have come on the episodes, the Hard Rock who's made this possible week in and week out. It's been a marathon, but I couldn't have enjoyed it much more. Becca, thank you so much. Becca's our girl behind the camera, clicking on and off for me every time so I can save some editing work. She's been here just about every step ever since I was running back and forth. So Becca, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Along with everybody else, I know we've got a lot of regulars here. So thank you so much week in and week out for coming out. It's been a pleasure to do these episodes live with an audience and having the opportunity to mingle with everybody after. Really appreciate it. So thank you to everybody. There's been so many helping hands this season that have made this thing possible, and I really appreciate just all the support, everybody who's reached out, and I really hope you enjoyed our final episode here and the final 5 games for the Breakers this season. Well, one last time, on behalf of everybody here at the Hard Rock, on behalf of the Hard Rock, the Breakers, and myself, Devin Dobek, thanks so much for tuning in to Breaker Banter, and we'll see you again soon.